Hey folks, check it out. I actually finished a notepad for my lists. Hey, check it out. See, look, this was yesterday's, and there goes yesterday. So yeah, that felt really good, getting rid of that. The cat wants that piece of paper. So today we are going to be talking about some organizational structures, and the enthusiasm in my voice, I know, is not matching up with the seemingly dull vibe that organizational structures seem to impart. But actually, I am really excited about talking about this today. So I'll just get right into this. So yesterday, actually, for the past week, I have been reading this book. And there you go. So I've been reading this book. I've actually been reading a lot of like business and self-help type of books lately, really over the past year. And I would like to spend a little time going over some of the books that I've been reading, make some recommendations. Hey, cat! Kitty's not allowed on the dining room table, but they try and push it. Anyway, I would like to spend some time going over some of the books I've been reading because, I find that I'm getting a lot out of this stuff. Hold on a second. That kitty's testing. Today. But I'm finding I'm getting a lot out of these out of these books. And it's like self-help books, they kind of get like a bad rap, like, oh well, what do they call it, self-help, you should be able to help yourself. But that's not really true. Like sometimes you just need to read about a different perspective. You need somebody else's experience, especially if you're like me and you kind of operate in a bubble. I've been an introvert most of my life. I know it doesn't seem like it because I'm just prattling on, but I really have been, kind of a loner, kind of, do it yourself sort of mentality. But of course, the problem with that is that whenever you want to try and do like a bigger venture, start a business, or, even just run a project within an existing structure, that becomes really difficult to do when you're just used to relying on yourself. Because what ends up happening is you end up doing all the work yourself and burning out, and it just doesn't work for very long, right? When you start to open up and look at it more in terms of like what, not so much what you can do on your own for a project or a business, but really the positions you can build, the structure you can build so that other people can come in and exist within that structure. That's really the key. So back to this book. This is the one that I'm reading right now, The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. And conveniently, if you're interested in checking out this book, there's a Amazon affiliate link down in the description below. Highly recommend it. I'm like, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of the way through this book, and it's been nothing but gold for me. So yeah, Amazon affiliate link down below if you want to check that out. But this book is by this dude, Michael Gerber, who's this guy who apparently his first business was creating a dinosaur theme park, and that may or may not have gone over very well. Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of when I saw this guy's picture was, Professor Hammond, is that you? That's a Jurassic Park reference for you youngins out there. So anyway, there's a lot in this book, but something that I was reading yesterday was dealing with basically setting up the bones, the structure for a small business at the outset, instead of just sort of just sort of jumping straight into it. And I don't want to give away like a bunch of stuff in the book, but to summarize, basically when you start a business, when you start a new business with the idea that you want to grow, well, obviously at some point you're going to have to hire people, right? You're going to need to get other people in there to do some of the jobs. Like when you first start off, you're doing all the jobs. You're the person. You're the it guy or the it girl. You're doing all of the finances. You're doing the accounts. You're doing the production. You're the president, the CEO. You're every shareholder. You're all of it. You're everything. And are we even recording audio? Uh-oh. That's no bueno. Okay. That's going to be funny if I'm not recording audio. Let me try something. Okay. Is that working? Hello, hello. Goodness. Are we hitting technical difficulty? This is going to be a really hilarious if I go back and check this out. So let me see. Sorry, folks. 1 second here. All right. Okay. No, we have audio. It's just, it's not showing up. It's just what wasn't showing up where I was expecting to. Okay. I was worried there for a second. I'm like, have I just been talking to myself? Well, I usually talk to myself, but that's besides the point. So anyway, it was talking about organizational structure. So when you start a business, you are every role, you're all of the stuff. But it suggested that when you first start out, you actually list out all of the jobs that you expect to be doing, that not that you expect to be doing, but all of the organizational structure, the hierarchy that you expect out of your business once it's fully built out. So you've got your president, your CEO, COO, whatever you want to call it. You've got your VP of marketing. You've got your VP of sales, VP of operations. Then you've got all your managers and your technicians and all the people under that. And of course, at the beginning, your name is in all of those positions. But it suggests that you build all that stuff out and ahead of time. And then once you've got that structure put together, that hierarchy, then you start from the bottom. You start working your way up. So for example, once you get that hierarchy, you start working in that position of fabricator or sales, or you're going to be doing a lot of positions there. But as you're working in those positions, you're also working on making what those positions are supposed to be, like in your mind, and writing things down. You're basically creating the operations manual, the job description as you go. And so as you're working in this space, you're creating the vision and writing it down of how you want that job to perform to your standards, to your specifications, so that by the time you're done writing that operations manual about how to do that job, once that manual is complete, then you can hire someone to come in and do that job, give them the manual and say, hey, this is how I want the job done. These are the standards that I want this performed at, and my expectations. And then you move up to that manager level, that supervisor level, and then you start working on figuring out what that job is supposed to look like, building that operations manual. And then you just keep that chain going. And that's how you bring more people in. You got to work in the job. And then once you've figured out how that job performs, then you give it to somebody else, give someone else the binder and say, hey, memorize this. So there's a lot more than just that in this book, but that was what I was reading. That was the chapter I was reading yesterday. I'll say it's like chapter 14 or something. Yeah. So yeah, little organizational structure like that. But yeah. And look, if you went to business school, you probably understand all this stuff. I didn't go to business school. I just got a liberal arts degree and then got a teaching credential. But I'm pretty sure that this is like, I don't even know how, this is like $20 or something like that. Pretty sure this is a lot cheaper than business school. Just saying. For someone who wants to start a small business like myself, which is, what I'm trying to do with YouTube, let's be real here. This is why people become content creators. They are small business operators. And it's something that I'm pursuing. So it's worth checking out. It's worth it to me anyway, to look at this sort of stuff. And let's get our branding back on there. Hey, this is the book that I'm reading and I'm talking about right now. It's worth it to me to pursue this sort of thing. Working on myself, working on strategies, these skill sets that I don't naturally innately have. But even beyond that, okay, even beyond business, I'm reading this and I like making connections in my life. I like it. I like efficiencies. I like it when one aspect of my life can also inform another aspect of my life. So I'm a woodshop teacher. All right. Well, I'm making YouTubery, getting plans going based on being a woodshop YouTuber, a woodshop teacher YouTuber. Just did a minor rebrand, did a new banner for my YouTube and social media, sort of rebranding as your woodshop teacher. Just trying to position myself using the skill set that I already have. And then bringing that forward. That's kind of the advice that all the big YouTubers tell you, is start with what you know, right? So I'm starting with what I know, which is teaching. It's what I've been doing for the last 14 years. Geez, almost 15 years. So I'm thinking, all right, that's great for business. Could that be used in the classroom? That was an interesting question. When I asked myself, could a structure like this be used in the classroom? So the way that he lays it out is that you write up all this structure, and then you basically write out the job description as sort of like an employment contract for each and every position. And then, you make your copies. And then when you are taking up all these roles, you're signing all these contracts. It's sort of a psychological thing, like, taking accountability, responsibility for, what you're signing up for. Like, oh, well, I signed a contract, I'm kind of obligated to follow through with this job description here. And it makes me wonder if something like that could be used in the classroom. In woodshop, in wood technology, and specifically the type of class that we run, which is it's sort of under the ROP umbrella, the Regional Occupational Program, Career Technical Education. It's under that umbrella. And so one of the things that we have to focus on as part of our curriculum is, some of these employment skills, soft skills, things like leadership and punctuality and, basic job description sort of thing, being on time, ready to work, that sort of thing, positive attitude. And it makes me wonder, and we do have to have leadership too, because that's how a business, or a real bona fide business, is structured. You've got your managers, your supervisors, you've got the people working, you've got the people in the office, you've got your presidents, your vice presidents, this whole hierarchy of structure inside a business. And, kids, eventually they're going to graduate school and get out in the real world, and they're going to discover all this stuff someday. So that's what we're trying to prepare them for. So it makes me wonder if some of the structure can't be implemented, could be implemented in the classroom, where, the teacher kind of acts like a business owner. Well, let's just say I'm the teacher. Well, I am the teacher. I act like a business owner, and I say, all right, well, I'm going to create this structure. I'm going to create, leadership. I'm going to create managers and supervisors and, workers, and create basically employment contracts. And I've done variations of this in the past. We usually do in the classroom, we usually do supervisors. So I'll usually have like 4 supervisors and then work crews. So it is some leadership. But the idea of doing like an actual employment contract, treating it more like a job interview, like, hey, yeah, you got assigned to my classroom, but I haven't hired you yet. You've got to interview. You've got to, where's your resume? Teaching those sort of trial by fire, teaching those soft skills that you would need in order to land a job. And yeah, it's not specifically woodworking, but that's our class. When we teach, we're not just teaching strictly a skill or a technique or an ability. We're teaching the whole child. We're teaching them how to function in society, within this space that we occupy. But still, they've got to learn. It's not just about learning a skill or learning a specific trade. It's learning those career skills, how to be successful within this crazy world. So, yeah, that's basically what I want to talk about today. So again, the E-Myth Revisited is a really good book. I'm almost finished with it. And I've got a lot to chew on, with my own business side of things, but also the classroom. When we do get back into away from distance learning, we get back into the classroom, hopefully this fall. I think more than likely I'm going to be creating some hierarchies and trying out doing some employment contracts and seeing how that goes over. 'Cause kids really do like the structure. I mean, think about it. If you know what to expect, what's expected of you. It's not confusing. You're going into work every day, and it's like, all right, well, there's going to be challenges, but at least I know what's expected of me, and I know what the level of success looks like, and what I need to achieve to get that. That feels a lot better than having no idea going into it, what's expected of you. That's the most stressful. So anyway, guys, happy Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? It's Tuesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, and I will see you tomorrow.